What up? What's up, everybody? Come on, where you at? What, man? I didn't hear you. You going there now? Do you know how long? Okay. I'll see you in a minute. All right. I was just talking to the wifey. She's got to go to the doctors again. Almost about to have a baby. I can't believe it. About 2 weeks away. Ooh, kids. But anyway, as you can probably see from the title of this, we're going to be talking about the 2A challenge. And it's a challenge to anybody out there. If you have a YouTube channel, obviously, if you're watching, you have a YouTube channel, and you don't have any content, and you believe in the Second Amendment, this challenge is for you to get your first video up and running. So, we're going to get into this. Hey, thanks. Thank you very much, Sabatello. Her. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm so excited. But I'm going to give you a little bit. We're going to talk right now. I'm going to talk about the Second Amendment and what it says. But a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Florida, free state. We're a free state. All the states here are free. But the security of a free state and the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And what that really means to me is whether it's fishing, hunting, camping, those are my open carry rights. My concealed rights is for me, it's really unconstitutional. I shouldn't have to pay the government to really do what is already given to me by God. It's a God-given right. When we are born, we are entitled this as Americans, period. So, and it's also, I forgot to put this last part in, it's also to protect, what's up, President Trump? Yeah, buddy, make America great. But it's also to protect ourselves against enemies, foreign and domestic. It's not just about hunting or whatever. It's about protection for ourselves and protection against a tyrannical government at the end of the day. And I have slowly seen all of our rights being stripped away. I mean, there's roughly, I think it's 50 something bills, anti-gun bills right now that they are really trying to strip our rights away. And without the Second Amendment, we don't have any rights. How are you going to defend your First Amendment right if you can't fight the government and their guns? You know, they're going to be coming after you, trying to stop your speech. They're going to wrongfully, illegal search and seizures. They're not going to allow you, a time, like when you go to court, that is part of it. Right now? Yeah, I think it's the Sixth Amendment. But anyway, there's so many things that the Second Amendment protects, and people have lost that. And that's the problem, is that we're in a really tricky area where they are almost promoting like a civil war. And I don't know why they want to go down that road. I really don't. But for me, the Second Amendment is just more than just fishing, hunting. It's about being able to protect my family. It's about protecting the United States against anybody that wants to do harm to us. So, but my challenge to you is, what does the Second Amendment mean to you? So we're going to talk a little bit more. This was just the beginning part. We're going to talk about, the anti-gun groups, Moms Demand Action, all of them. But let me see who's up on here. I know we got President Trump. Oh, what up? What? I don't even know what you wrote there, bro. But James Madison, he's here. Check out his channel. He does really good work. Really very eloquent in his auditing, we'll say, for sure. Like I said, President Trump, he's here. CB, yeah, in Oregon and Utah, they're doing a bunch of stuff too. I mean, it's all over. It's not just here in Florida. It's all over the United States right now. I mean, they're really trying to either limit your gun rights or basically strip your gun rights. Justin Pullman, what's up? How you doing? Howdy. All right. Let's see. All right. But yeah, and like I said, you know, the Second Amendment is to stand up against tyrannical governments and enemies, whether they be foreign or domestic. Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you, Freedom, Philadelphia Freedom News Now. Thank you. The enemies that we're dealing with right now, that are domestic, are really going to be like Moms Demand Action. They are a huge part right now. I mean, they've done so much damage, and they are in the ears of all the politicians right now, and they're just sitting there talking, and saying, "Hey, we need to do this. We need to prevent high capacity magazines. We got to start looking at assault rifles," and they're not even assault rifles; they're semi-automatic rifles. You know, if they actually looked at the definition, they already have a ban on semi-automatic rifle or assault weapons. Period. You know, it's been in place since like the 60s. Or 80s or something like that, but we already have that in place, and they're just like, oh, but it's the AR-15. It's the AR-15's fault. Now it's the AK's fault. Now they are just really, really going after guns, and we need to stand up, and that's the Second Amendment challenge: is make videos, let people know how you feel about your rights being trampled on. I mean, I stand up, and I'm just one person, and I just want to get that message out there saying, hey, leave our gun rights alone. You know, if you take our Second Amendment away, we're going to lose all of our rights, not just one, all of them. But anyway, yeah, scary looking guns, man. That black scary looking gun is just, gotta run. I mean, even like through the second, even the, you know, when we go out open carrying, out in the public, like out, you know, in Sebastian Inlet, Miami Beach. I mean, all these places I've ever gone, I've never seen one person run and scream, "Oh my God, he's got a gun." It's never happened. You know, if anything, I've had more people that were more curious about why we were out there open carrying. They're like, "You can do this? It's legal?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's your right." Hey, what's up, Angel? How you feeling, brother? I hope you're doing well, man. We got a couple good things coming up your way soon, man. So, I'll pick you up if I have to. And I know that Lucas, he'll pick you up too. So one way or the other, we'll get you there. Yeah, for sure, Tony Ellison. Don't New York, my Florida. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the New York, California is slowly kind of getting their rights back, but you know, Illinois, friggin' New York, you name that, Maryland, you know, even I think New Orleans is one of those places that's really bad, where they're really doing unconstitutional things and stripping people of their rights. But you know, we're gonna get back, for those that just joined. Don't forget, say what's up. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm always looking forward to trying to answer questions and give knowledge about anything. So if you're unsure, let me know. But yeah, this 2A, this challenge for everybody is really just to say, hey, make your video. If you are new and don't have any content, make a video about what the Second Amendment means to you. So that's what this challenge is really all about, is make a video and let people know how you feel. All right. Let's see. They took my Miami, stopped in the car. Oh man, that sucks. I think there's a law like if it expires, and it's usually like a fine, and you go and redo it, and then they pay a fine. But or maybe that's just when you forget your concealed weapons license when you get a fine. Anyway, yeah, that really sucks. Yeah, no, you know it really sucks to get caught without it or get caught and it being expired. Sorry, Anthony Gonzalez. I support a lot of the stuff that he's doing for this country. Some of his rhetoric, debatable, but for the most part, he's making things happen. He's not a career politician. He said, this is what I'm going to do. And so far, he's pretty much done it. Other than the wall right now, I know he's not fully 2A, but I don't think he's crazy enough to go completely stupid like that. Because, and once again, if he was to do really something that crazy with the Second Amendment, I don't think he'd get reelected. We'd end up with Bernie or Hillary or somebody, whatever. But anyway, yeah. Oh, it was in your car and you got. Oh, that's even worse because here in Florida, you can basically, as long as it's in a glove box or whatever, you can carry your firearm wherever you want in your car, as long as it's securely enclosed and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, shall not be infringed. But yeah, we're gonna back to the 2A challenge. Make that video. That's all I can really tell you. Make a video and tell people how you feel about the Second Amendment, even if you're not for it. I'm 100% behind it, but if you're not for the Second Amendment, put it out there. That's the challenge. I challenge you to be that brazen enough to tell people that you do not like the Second Amendment and you don't want the Second Amendment. And then next time you decide you need to call the police that have guns, don't call the police. Deal with it yourself. Gorilla and Guns, what up? What up? How you doing? Yeah, I want just constitutional carry. It's not even about just open or concealed. I want you to carry how you feel comfortable. I feel comfortable carrying both ways. It really doesn't matter to me. So, but yeah, Moms Demand Action. Let's talk about the anti-gun groups for a minute. I really don't like them. I don't. They've been a pain in every one of our sides since day one. And unfortunately, they have so much pull and they have so much backing that it's coming from somewhere, and they're able to organize in huge groups. Like even with the open carry stuff that I do, it's amazing to pull 15 people, 20 people together, and just like in Ocala, when we had just over 125, 150 people, that's an amazing thing. But somehow, some way, Moms Demand Action, March of Our Lives, they find a way to pull thousands. And that's what we need to do. We need to all pull together and stand up together as a group. All of us, even if you're not here from Florida. If you come visit Florida, reach out to me and we'll go fishing. We'll go hang out. We'll go express our rights. It's just, we all need to get together and fight right now because they are coming and they are coming hard. And it's mind blowing. I can't believe what I'm seeing. The Miami case is still going on. That one's going to be going on for probably a while. So as much as I want to talk all about it and what's going on, the only thing I can say is that the lawsuit is definitely filed. It is on the books, and we were just waiting on a court date. And then once again, that could be a year, 2 years before any of this is actually finished, done. But we'll see. I'm hoping everything goes well, and we do. We help Miami learn that you can't just violate people's rights. So let's see what you guys got talking about over here. New York and New Jersey, yeah. New York, definitely. New York City, to get a concealed weapons license in New York, I hear it takes over a year and change. Yeah, so they're backed by Bloomberg, huh? Gorillas and Guns said they're backed by Bloomberg. I believe it. The amount of money and the amount of everything that they do. I just don't know. It can't just be all these young kids and their moms. It just can't be. I mean, unless they're all millionaires, and I mean, I couldn't imagine it. Just yeah. So Bloomberg sounds about right. Yeah, Moms Demand. Yeah, they're a bunch of anal. Yeah, I do try to look up a lot of their stuff. You can go to momsdemandaction.org, and then I think it's called Take Action. Type in your zip code, and it'll show you where they're at. And what I don't do it, but what I've heard others done is they go there, they look at it, and then they go and they try to find their events, and they show up. And I've done it a few times where I've actually shown up to their events, and the first couple I went to, went right in. I was able to record because they do them a lot in like public libraries and in churches and things like that. But I recorded them, and they didn't like it. And then I had a couple people kind of freak out on me a little bit. And then I showed up to one in West Palm, and when I showed up, they knew who I was. And I was like, whoa, how do you know who I am? And they're like, oh, we see your videos. And I'm like, oh, that explains it. So they shut me down that day, and I was at a public library, and they were like, oh, you can't go in. And I'm like, but you guys invited me. And they're like, nope, can't go in. I'm like, all right, fine. But whatever. I didn't argue, I just left. But yeah, I'll continue to go out there and look for them, because it's frustrating to see them really try to trample in what they're doing and how they're getting all these bills and how they're talking to legislation. I mean, if anything, we need to start talking to our pro-gun legislators and say, hey, please put up 50 bills of pro-gun so that that way they're going to be both fighting back and forth about what gets passed and what doesn't. They can pass an anti-gun, but what happens when a pro-gun gets that nullifies their anti-gun? That's what we really, I think, need to do, is just really promote a lot of pro-gun bills and promote so many that they can't get their heads around it, and they all blow up, because you know how they get triggered about guns and Trump. I mean, we've all probably seen some of the videos. All right, you got 4,500 to open carry last month in Salem. That's a huge number. Bring all your friends down here to Florida. We'll get you some fishing licenses, and we'll go open carry. CB. Their facts don't mean nothing to them. It's about their feelings, and that's where a lot of these laws are coming from, are just feelings, not factual information. But it's 33 or 35,000. I heard it was like almost 40,000 people were killed by firearms, but 60% of those were suicides. So, if you're talking like 15,000 or 18,000-ish that were not suicide related, and then over, I think it was 40 or 50%, those are all gang related. So the number, just like, you look at all of what is going on, and we're talking little pieces. We're talking percents. Like, I think it's less than 1% are mass shootings. A lot of them are, there are justifiable homicides, and those are included in that. But, the law-abiding citizen is not the one that's making all these killings. It's criminals, like criminals and murderers and people that have depression and mental illnesses. Those are the four main ones that are where most of these deaths come from. And they look at this number like, oh, 40,000 people die by guns, but look at the statistics of what is in those 40,000. It's not just 40,000 mass shooting people die. No, it's percentages. It's like less than 1% are mass shootings, and it's even less than that with rifles. Like 80% or something is mainly all handguns. There's bats. I mean, but with just the deaths and firearms, it's like they just don't want to do any kind of work. They don't want to look at stats. They just want to say, oh, this is a number, I'm going to use this number, and that's how I stick to it. And that's where their feelings come into it instead of facts. But anyway, anybody got any questions? Yeah, that was legal. 3% protest. Heard that. 2A fishing. Yeah, those liberals. Those liberals are getting money from anti-gun business. Those businesses need to go to jail. I agree. Or they don't need, or maybe they don't need any kind of protection with a gun. Maybe we just send the police in there with bats and say, hey, this is how we're going to protect you guys now. Or I don't know. Don't just not even, don't even go. Oh, there's a guy here with a gun, but you're anti-gun. That makes sense. Yeah. Grilling guns, that side are always hypocrites. Yeah. Yeah. They're always hypocrites. I don't get it either. CB, working hard here, bro. Yeah, me too. Working hard. I'm tired. I run Uber till like 3, 4 in the morning, and I work from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 4 in the morning. So I'm on like this roughly 14-hour shifts every day for the last 2 weeks. How are you late? Oh, Cop 350. Are you late? You're not late. You're never late, man. You're always on time. They cannot rule. Grill and Gun says they cannot rule an armed society, and that's why we have to stick together. Concealed carriers, open carriers, let's all stick together. We need to stand up in force. We can hopefully slow down their momentum because they've got so much. Uh-oh, my phone is getting hot. It says, I don't know how. Cool off. Cool off, phone. Sticky on ice later. Yeah, so if this cuts off, just to let you know, my phone died. Thank you. Yeah, Mushroom Cloud 1 says, thank you. I was in law enforcement for a number of years, and I can assure you that it's not the gun. It is the criminal and the nutcases. And he's absolutely right. I mean, if you look at the statistical data, it's criminals. Oh, come on. But anyway, yeah, it's the criminals. And everybody's getting their feelings involved. And I understand. I have feelings too, but I try not to get those involved when it comes to civil rights. Like somebody called me a name. Oh, my feelings are hurt. Oh, we need to do something about the First Amendment. Oh, my feelings are hurt. I've been called so many different names, from Oreo to this to all of them. I've been from both sides, and it only made me stronger because some a word is a word, but when you start actually doing something to me, like actually physically trying to hurt me or do something to me, that's when everything changes. But my feelings, I'll live, but without my Second Amendment, I'm scared that I don't have a way to defend myself or my family. So, but anyway, we're going to get back to it. This 2A challenge. What this 2A challenge is really about is to get you motivated to either, if it's your first video on your YouTube channel, to let people know how you feel about the Second Amendment. Plain and simple, end of the day. And for me, the Second Amendment is just more than just fishing, hunting, and camping. It allows me to protect my family, my growing family that I have right now. And it allows me to make sure that if the government does turn tyrannical, that I have a way to fight back. Oh, yeah, and that's another interesting thing. I was, I'm always trying to research and gain knowledge, and I found out who the Minutemen were. And the Minutemen was just a group of guys, small militia that could be basically called on and grouped together within minutes to basically stand up against and that's what happened in, I think it was in Lexington, when the shot heard around the world. That was the beginning of America's Revolution. And I didn't know that. I mean, I'm probably sure I learned it in school, but I was so young. But when I learned about the Minutemen, it was actually a really cool story, and how that group, that small militia, and that's what we need to be, is that at a minute's notice, we should be able to all call each other or get together and stand up against Moms Demand Action, March of Our Lives, our politicians that are anti-gun. Like this, that we are the Minutemen now. And that's why we have, as a group, whether it's open carry, concealed carry, as a group of gun owners, we need to get together and fight, because they are fighting so hard on us that we've gotten almost complacent and not even trying to fight back. So I challenge everybody here to basically come up with a video, tell people how you feel about the Second Amendment, and post it. Get it out there. Let's get a bunch of these videos out there so that the other side sees that there's a lot of gun owners here. And that's another thing. How many concealed weapons licenses do we have here in Florida? Anybody? Let's see some answers. And I'm gonna let you know it's a record number too. It's pretty high. It's actually pretty impressive. And that's why what's her name that just got elected into the agriculture department. She needs more funding to hire more people so that they can process concealed weapons licenses. Why don't we just have constitutional carry, and everybody there can actually go and do a real job, instead of saying, hey, give me your money for a constitutional right. All right. And yes, 350Z, I saw. That's a good answer. And do a lot of research too, man, because we are, I think, either at 2 million or we're like right there. 2 million unlawful concealed weapons license issued, because we don't want, or I'm sorry, 2 million concealed weapons license unconstitutional. 2 million that we've had to give out, and it's growing dramatically every day. There's so many applications that they can't even keep up it. They're behind. So that's why constitutional carry, I think, is actually needed. Richmond, we're gonna get there. I bet you that happens in the next year. We'll get to 3.8 million. Guerrillas and guns, not nearly enough, brother. Yeah. You know what else? You know what else can bring money into the state? I'll get back to that one. We're going to come back to that one. That one I'll rant about for a while. But licensing does bring money into the state, but that licensing, we don't need that license. It's a constitutional right. It's my right. It was just Florida decided they wanted to adopt the CCW, because pre-87 we had open carry. We were allowed to open carry here, but it was very unorganized, because every county, every city had different ordinances about that. So it wasn't like everywhere you could just go open carry. You had to make sure you knew the laws within your state. But that money, they are bringing in money, but they have to hire a bunch of people to get that. So it's not, that money is going more to paying people than it is to bringing in tax money, I guess. Because it's, I'm paying a fee. It's not like, oh, this is a tax. It's a fee that I have to pay to carry a firearm concealed. Yeah, the government is the cause of the collapse, and they just keep wanting more money. John Peterson said that, and that's 100% true. I mean, that's the one thing I know, that when I get my paperwork to run for state representative, I've got a couple different ideas that can maybe help draw in, I'd say probably billions of dollars within a few years. I'd say at least $1 billion in probably 2 to 3 years. I've seen what I'm talking about. I've seen it in other states, and I think that, Florida is right there on the brink of bringing it there. but we need people to really push it, and we need people that'll stand by their guns. That once they say it, they stand by it. And if I say I believe in the Second Amendment and I believe that we need constitutional carry, believe me when I say if I do get elected, I promise you those are going to be on my top agendas, just trying to get that constitutional carry passed. Yeah, and Mushroom Cloud One. Yeah, I support all of them. I mean, I'm going to give you a fun fact: 27 minus 2 equals 0, and somebody prove me wrong. Richard Masley says, Greens stand behind John Morgan for the people. Yeah, John Morgan, he's good. Yeah, Dr. Sean Berry says, shall not be infringed, 100%. Grill and Gun says, most states won't pass constitutional carry because politicians don't want to lose a single penny, regardless of how little it actually brings in. And that's, I believe, is so true. I think it's just tax money. They see I can charge somebody for here in Florida. I think it's like $125 to apply to apply for the license, and then to wait to get it back. And then plus you have to take some kind of concealed weapons course, and those range anywhere from $45 to about $50-$60. So you're talking roughly about $200 before you can get that license, and I think that's just completely unjust. I mean, constitutional. Like, and if you don't agree with me there, I don't know. It's just mind-boggling. So I don't think that we need to keep paying for a concealed weapons license when it's already constitutional. I won't say I do not support the NRA. I don't think they are focused on a broader national level, like the NRA, National Rifle Association. They're national. They are, for here in Florida, they really don't like the fact that we were trying to get open carry, because I've reached out to them, talked to them many times. I had a year membership, and when I talked to them about it, or talked to them in general about stuff, they kind of brushed it off, if you will. It wasn't for me, and their activity isn't. They do, but usually it's behind closed doors, or it's at some where you pay to go have a dinner and sit to listen for people. And the group I really like is Florida Carry, because they're actually active. They're out there, out in the public eye. They're out there promoting gun rights. They're out there speaking to the public. We open carry, and we do the same thing. We go to restaurants and we have meet and greets, and we have guest speakers. I mean, we've had Masad Ayub. We've had Charlie Cook. We've had numerous speakers. We've had CJ Grisham from Open Carry Texas come to our event. I mean, we've had Caitlin Bennett was there. I mean, we do the same thing NRA does in Florida Carry, but we try to be a little bit more loud about it, a little bit more active than I would say NRA is. And then you said the GOP or GOA. I do like them. The Second Amendment Foundation. I actually reached out to them recently, and I think I'm going to become a member of them as well. There are some gun groups I do like, but a lot of them, I think they're very scared to. All right. Threw it in the fridge for a minute. Yeah. All right. Sorry, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the party. All right. Yeah, Florida is hot, but yeah, that's what we have refrigerators for. Throw that thing in the refrigerator for 5 minutes and fixed. Done deal. So everybody's back. Everybody, we can come back. Can't remember where I left off, but I think it was something about NRA. Yeah, the NRA is actually losing a lot of people right now, because I think some people are just the same thing with me, a little frustrated that they're not sticking their necks out right now because there's so much going on, and maybe they're overloaded with work. I don't know. I'm not in that organization, so I can't really, I'm not gonna mouth them about it. But I think there's something going on that I just, I don't know. Maybe the NRA can leave a message here and say, hey, what's going on? All right, we left at what do you support the gun rights? Yes, some of them do, some of them don't. Texas squashed their bill. Yeah, I heard about that. Who was grilling guns? Who was the guy that said he was gonna vote for it, and then he flipped himself, and I don't know. It was something like that. And he said he was gonna be for it, but then now he's not, or something like that. Yeah, New Mexico's got pretty lax gun laws. My little brother, he was actually born in Albuquerque, and it was a military base out there. I was a military brat, if you don't know that. Yeah, we definitely need to hold not just police. We need to hold everybody, politicians included, because there's a lot of them that are. I think they're overstepping their grounds and really, I think it's become more money motivated for them than people like we the people put you in that for us, and I think they've all lost that. I'm running Mushroom Cloud asked what Florida House District am I running for? District 84. It's St. Lucie County. The woman I'm going to be running up against, I'm sure there's going to be others, but the seat that I'm trying to take, her name is Dolores Johnson. And she's actually doing really good in one part of the aspect I was talking about was going to be education. I mean, she's an ex-teacher. She's been in the school system for like 30 years, and she's actually doing really well. Our district actually has a 90% graduation rate and a 12% dropout rate, which is pretty phenomenal. It's probably one of the lowest in most of the United States, or in Florida. It's one of the lowest, not the lowest, but one of them. So she does really well there, but she is definitely anti-gun. She is not for gun rights, none of that. So that's where I think I've got her, but she does do well. So I mean, it should probably be a pretty competitive race because we're going to be getting on two different points. She's in or a couple different points, and we're probably going to go back and forth. So it should be pretty interesting. But I am waiting on that paperwork. That's all I'm really waiting on. As soon as I get the okay from Tallahassee that I can start petitioning, and start getting donations. And I can't accept donations through YouTube and stuff like that. So don't think you can send me donations through YouTube or anything like that. It's actually, you've got to fill out, you got to say who you are and you send money. At least they know if they say campaign violations, they know to who to go to and say, did you give this man money for his campaign? Blah, blah, blah. Philadelphia Freedom News Now says $19 in Philadelphia and no class. Wow. We need those laws. I wish it was that cheap. I don't support the not real activists. Not really grilling guns. What does that mean? I've never heard of the not real activists. Well, Richard Masley says, what's messed up is you can drink and carry, but you cannot. But if you on med weed, you lose your right to carry. Yeah. I just talked to a buddy of mine about this, and he says he's getting his card. And from what I understand about it, is that you can get a medical card, but you cannot fill out an FFA or a FFL. So once you get that medical card, you no longer can purchase a firearm through like your gun stores or whatever, whatever. If you have to fill out an FFL to buy the firearm and you have a medical card, you are not going to get that firearm. You may even get in trouble, but I'm not quoting you on the trouble part, but from what I understand, you will not be able to purchase a firearm. Sean Berry says, when you license a right, it becomes a permit, subject to permission and denial, for sure. That's what I thought the Constitution gave me that right, and now I've got to pay the government for my right. It's double negative. Yeah, disgruntled employee. Yeah, Mushroom Cloud. I want to say they probably are doing fine. They're still around. They're getting money. I know that they're doing all right. I just know that they did lose a lot of members, and that was maybe if that came from that guy, then it came from that guy. But I've read so much about the NRA really trying to reach out and try to get more members because they lost so many, I guess. Oh, nice. I will grill his guns. I'll reach out to Philip Van Cleve, and I know he's out of Virginia, but he may know some things that I don't. Mushroom, yeah, camera problems. I threw it in the refrigerator for like a couple minutes, whatever time I was gone. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep up the good work. I will keep fighting. All right, keep a good fight. Thank you. 2A strong. Yeah. John Peter says, Solak, you're a brave and polite patriot when confronted by police. Yeah, you know, I I won't say I already have things going against me, but they look at me like they already have this assumption that I'm some kind of criminal, I think. And I've if you've ever seen that one video where it was like a test to see the differences of two different open carriers. You had a white open carrier and you had a black open carrier. Walking down the street, white open carrier, they walked up and they cordially talked to him. And these are in states that they were open carrying was legal, but white guys police walk up and they cordially talk to him. Black guy walking down the road, cop pulls up, opens his door, points a gun directly at the guy, tells him get on the ground. And that's I won't say that's where I'm at, but sometimes that's how I feel because they do confront me quite often, and sometimes it gets a little like, hey guys, like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I'm not doing nothing wrong, and it's kind of scary. And that's what happens with me is I start talking about, and I'm like, look, I'm not trying to go to jail. So, I get it, NRA, not real activists. I got you, gorillas and guns. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to put my wife through that. But at the end of the day, if they really want to go and push that limit, then I guess they're going to push that limit. I just don't like guns being pointed at me when I'm not doing anything wrong. And from Miami, that was a rough day. It was hard, but I got through it, and that's all that matters. And we're gonna take them to court, and we're gonna figure out what goes on after that. Fox says permits are infringement. Constitutional carry should be in all 50 states, and that is so true. It'd make it easier. I mean, traveling, going state to state with your firearm, you wouldn't have to worry. You wouldn't have to. Oh, I'm going to Michigan. Well, what states do I want to avoid? That's the homework you have to kind of do before you start traveling with your firearms, which is crazy. It doesn't make sense either. Yeah. Fox says that the white and the black open carrier is not valid in two different states, two different areas. That one is different. I could say there's the group that was in Michigan is this one heavy set black guy, and he had guns drawn on him, and he wasn't with the group that he was with. It's not Mark Guardian. It was somebody else. I'll try to find a link or something later, and I'll get back to you, Fox. But that's not true. There was a couple different cases in Michigan where there were once again open carry, and I know specifically this one black guy had guns drawn on him, and he's got it on tape too. Like I said, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying it seems sometimes, not all times, sometimes. Yeah. After I post this video and I do a little homework, I'd say give me like a day, Fox, and I'll put a link to the guys in Michigan that I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just you know I think I've seen it a few times, and even me going through it personally, like I just especially when I'm by myself, like when I'm with a group, it's one thing, but when I go out by myself, it's just, and because I'm not the only one here, but I'm the only one that really posts a lot about open carry here in Florida. And so mainly all the videos that I do see are my videos. So I don't really have actually, no, I believe it's Honor Your Oath. He got detained in, I want to say, Ormond Beach. And I'll have to post that one too, because it was his video was actually pretty good. It started out pretty good, but the guy ends up putting his hand, draws his holster, has it at the low ready. So I can't say that social experiment's completely true, but like I said, there are times, and I'm not saying all times, just sometimes. Dr. Sean Berry, yes, I do go offshore fishing. I've got a couple videos from my earlier year on YouTube. If you just scroll all the way down, you'll see you'll see a few videos of me kayak fishing about 3.5 to 5 miles offshore. And I've gone out of like Dania Beach, Jupiter Inlet, St. Lucie Inlet, Fort Pierce. I've caught and fished. I've caught a fish, like a good fish. I lost a mahi right next to the kayak. He came up, jumped, started whapping his tail. Next thing you know, you see the hook fly out and it comes right at me. But yeah, I get out there. I do a lot of inshore mostly just because of it's just easier for me to stay inshore. Kayak fishing offshore is got to have your gear, got to tie down your gear, got to make sure everything's in its place. Got to get the depth finder ready, got to get the batteries charged. It's just a lot more work for me to go offshore than it is for me to stay inshore. So, yeah. If I could open carry every day, it'd be amazing, because I wouldn't have this friggin' gun always sitting right on my appendix. I appendix carry too. Oh, as a matter of fact, that's my appendix rig. It's made by T-Rex Arms. Extra mag. Got my Glock 23, and yeah, I love it. I love it. I wouldn't trade it in for the world. Well, actually, I probably would. There's a couple guns I'd trade it in for, but I love it. I call her Felicia too. Yeah, grouper. The last time I was inshore, the last time I went fishing inshore, I hooked it to at least a 60-pound Goliath on this bridge while I was snook fishing, and that seems to happen a lot too. And I'm sitting there fighting and pulling them up, and I don't know, there must have been a hole right where I was about to land him, and I just gave him just enough to where he got in that hole. And I mean, the hole couldn't have been no bigger than maybe 8 inches, 9 inches, that big. Just about the size of my head. He found a way to get in that hole, and he ended up breaking me off. And I was livid. I was just like, ah. And all I wanted was the picture. That's all I wanted was a picture. I never want to play. Yeah, Rambo Rob. The appendix carriers are mostly those, I'll say those skinnier guys. Not to say that you can't do it, but yeah, I don't have a lot of junk in the front, so I can put a lot of junk in the front. So, yeah. If anybody has any questions, anything, let me know. I'm kind of just rambling here. Oh, we're going to talk about the 2A challenge. Get out there, make a video about what the Second Amendment means to you. The Second Amendment means a lot to all of us, and let's let the world know on YouTube, Facebook, do whatever, social media, get on Instagram, get on Twitter, and get a camera, roll it for a couple minutes, and say, hey, this is what I feel about the Second Amendment, and that's what the challenge is all about. You don't have to go out carrying a gun. You don't have to go out open carry. You don't have to take pictures of your gun and just make a video. Make a video and tell the world what you feel about the Second Amendment, good or bad. Some people may not like the Second Amendment, and that's their right. But at the end of the day, hopefully, or actually, our Constitution is not going anywhere. So if you think you're going to be able to take away our Second Amendment, you are wrong, way wrong. There are too many Americans that will stand up if that day comes, and I hope that day never comes. Yeah. We have a open carry gathering. It's gonna be a fishing gathering protest of Brian Max, and we're going there on next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, 28th. You've got a day off, and you can come down to Stuart, Florida. I'll put a link for that event in the link after this video is posted. But you should come down, and we're going to protest down by the water and do some fishing and let people know that when he went on CNN and was like, hey, I think we need to ban the AR-15. And then, he was on CNN saying that. And I was just like dumbfounded by that. I voted for him. And then I think it was just recently, he put his name on HR-8. He was signing that bill, or he was in agreement with it. And he was one of 3 Republicans. Only 3 Republicans voted for this in Florida, and he was one of them, or one of 3 Republicans, period. And we need a congressman or somebody to stand up in place of this guy, because I mean, the longer he sits there, the more he's gonna have influence to really try to make stripping of the AR-15 a reality. I was going to go out there and protest against him about our clarity of water here, which is really bad. We're getting there. He just finally got more funding from Donald Trump. It went from like 80 million to 200 million, so he got 120 more $million of funding to put into cleaning up our water, fixing the dam, and trying to find a real solution on trying to cleaning up our water so that we can fix our ecosystem. Because here in Stuart, I fish, and there's probably about 3 months out of the year that I cannot fish because the water is just so nasty and so polluted that if you get it on you and you have like a cut, it could turn into a flesh-eating bacteria or a flesh-eating bacteria or something, and people have died from it. That's all I know, and I ain't trying to die fishing. I'd rather just find a way to clean up our water. Yeah. Yep. Another thing, I got a baby due in 2 weeks. I got my little Oceana. She keeps kicking. She keeps kicking the wife, that's for sure. I keep feeling it. It's such an awesome feeling to feel your baby kicking. But I can't wait. And that's a part of what I do, why I do this too. It's part of the Second Amendment, is to ensure that my daughter has that same right that I had now. Like, if we don't protect them and we don't fight for them, we lose them, what do you got left? I mean, there's not too many other countries like our country, and once they start stripping away at our rights, it's over. How do you protect yourself? So let's check it out here. Yeah, she's gonna be beautiful. I can't wait. I'm gonna try to keep her out of YouTube for the most part for a while. You'll obviously get to see her, and I'm sure if you know me, whether on some other social media, I'm sure you'll see my little babies. But I'm trying to kind of keep her out of the limelight for right now, because I've actually been getting noticed. Oh, that's another thing. I just finally, after my First Amendment audit video, if any of y'all saw that, I received a phone call. I want to say it was or not a phone call, an email on Friday. And they told me that the records were ready. And I'm like, perfect. So I gave them a call, and they're like, hey, your records are ready. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, there's a $35 charge. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, I'm not paying for it. I'm like, I've got a video, and I'm talking to the officer, and I'm like, I'm not paying for it. I'm like, you wasted my time. for this 1 hour of work and they're not even ready. So now I have to leave and then come back to pick them up. And they're like, oh, no, we'll mail them to you. Well, they're not mailing them to me. I got to go pick them up. But that's okay because I had plans on going there anyway. I planned on going to their city hall meeting on tomorrow. It's at 9:30. Can't wait. And we're going to have a nice little discussion and talk about the things that are a little frustrating. So, yeah, but after all that, I've been getting calls. I got calls from their town. I got calls from the councilman or somebody from there saying, hey, you might not be able to play your video because it's not on the agenda. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, are you still coming? I'm like, yeah, I'm still coming. I'm going to talk for the 3 minutes then. I'm going to talk and let you know how I feel. And then today I got a phone call, and I think his name was Captain Kean, and he was asking the same thing. Like, I heard you're coming down, and they're just kind of curious, what's it about? I'm like, I've got things I want to talk about, and I'm not going to be rude about it, but I'm going to talk. I'm going to let them know how I feel, and they're going to love it. It's going to be awesome. But it's just weird. And I don't think I ever really gave them my phone number about any of this. It's just they found a way or whatever and kept my number and they called me, which was cool because I like talking to them. All right, let's see what's going on. I think Rambo Rob, think about the time when the Second Amendment saved the U.S. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dude. We don't even have to, there's no discussion about that one. I mean, that's what the Second Amendment was based off of, Yeah. Let's see. All right. Thank God for the Bill of Rights. Yeah, Gorilla Guns, yeah. I think they are. I think they were kind of messing with me because the 911 calls that I requested were about the day when we were down in West Palm. And if you don't know, when we went to West Palm for this open carry gathering, there was only 8 of us, but we walked straight through downtown West Palm on like a Saturday. We must have seen probably, I don't know, a couple thousand people walk, talk. And we were fishing on top of Middle Bridge, Royal Park Bridge, and we're out there fishing, and it triggered the whole town. And then from that, the West Palm Police Department sent out a public notice to all the residents of West Palm. And when they did that, it was just like, that was the beginning of this. And I was like, so if you're going to write this about me, I'm going to get all these 911 calls to figure out how triggered they got. Because it doesn't, like, I understand they want their city to be safe and understand the law, but they made it seem like we did something wrong. I mean, I'll make a video, or actually, that may already be out there. I'll try to put a link to that so that you can see the public notice that they posted about us out there on the bridge that day. And I mean, that's why this whole town hall meeting and everything, that's kind of how this all started, was just about 911 calls and just getting a public records request. So yeah, it's been like kind of like an intimidation / oh, what are you about to do? And they don't need to know what I'm doing. They just need to know that I'm a citizen that is concerned about the city. But all right. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions or concerns? Does anybody know any good Second Amendment auditors here in Florida other than myself that are posting videos? Because I can't seem to find any. I mean, it's hard to find them. I mean, I know a couple guys within my groups that post, so I mean, I see their stuff, but I don't see too many Second Amendment auditors here in Florida. Hank Strange, he's on YouTube. Gorillas and Guns, Hank Strange. well, I'm gonna probably go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna hang out with you a little bit. I thank y'all for watching. Don't forget, hit that like, that subscribe button. I will put those links in about what I said about, anything that I said that I put a link in. It'll be in there probably within the day, with either today or tomorrow. So just come back to this video after it's done posting. Sunday, what month are we in? April. Yeah, April 28th. Stuart, Florida, downtown Stuart. We will be having an open carry gathering right there at Brian Mast's office. The water is like directly behind his office right there. Hard to find them anywhere. O'Shea, Jackson, and Georgia is a good one. Yeah, don't they have open carry up there? Yeah, he's from Gainesville. All right, I'll have to check him out. Okay, I'll have to check him out for sure. Gorilla and Gun, I'll check him out. He's out of Gainesville. Yeah, and if you haven't, check out James Madison Audits. He's a great upcoming star right now. He's like probably one of the most calm, cool, collective guys I've ever really seen for a Second Amendment auditor. I mean, I've seen the really, the guys that are like, get out of here, F you, and da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah. But yeah, that's why I don't do Second and First Amendment. I can't just go up and poke the bear, if you will. I let the bear kind of come to me, and then we go from there. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go hang out with the wife while I eat some lunch, get ready, maybe get ready for work. Got to do that Uber. Got to make that money, honey. Oh, nice. Locked and Loaded podcast on Monday. Nice. But anyway, I will see you guys. I am going to be out in Vero Beach on Thursday, and I'm going to go out there and open carry. It's been probably about a good 3-4 weeks since I've actually gone out by myself. So I figured I'd go out and go try Vero Beach and go see if I can't find some, I think the pompano are still on the beaches, and I hear the snook are starting to flood out of there too. So I think I'm going to do a little river fishing, and then I'm going to take a walk to go do some beach fishing. So we're going to knock 2 birds, 1 stone, and I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side, all right? Solo Yacker, deuces. No, I'm not going to rotate the device. It says rotate. Shut up.